Hey Waldrick, Ruts here, and right now we are going to be doing the swivel base, which starts at page 7-3. So to start off, some background information. We've been working with models where you start off with a piece and you build off of this piece, and this one tries to get us away from the idea that you need an object to build off of. Instead, we can use new work planes. So let's talk about, let's see, parent features, children features. So when you're going through your model, the parent would be the object that you start with, and any children would be drawings that you draw on top of the parent object. So the children rely on the parent objects in order to exist. And if you change the parent objects, it could really affect your design. The born technique. In parametric modeling, the base feature, first solid feature, is the center of all features and considered the key feature of the design. All subsequent features are built by referencing the first feature, and there's a lot of emphasis placed on the base feature. So there's a technique called the born technique, and it's base orphan reference node. So basically, it's a Cartesian coordinate system where you have an XY plane, a YZ plane, and a YX plane, or ZX plane. And you can use these different planes in order to draw different objects. So let's get into the activity, and I'll start by shrinking my head. There we go. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is go into the sketch plane settings. So in your tools, at the startup, you have the application options, and you can change different settings, but the one that we're focusing on is the part tab. Now, in the part tab, you want to check that no new sketch option is chosen, and then we're going to the sketch tab, and we are going to examine and edit. Here we go. Look at sketch plane on sketch creation and edit. We're going to unclick that. Okay. So now that will take effect, and we go to new. And we're going to create a new, and the metric, nope, English. We're going to make a standard part. Okay. So there's a new name that appears here in origin, and you have these different planes that show up. You have the axes as well. So we have those work planes that we can draw on, and by default they're aligned in the world coordinate system, and the work point is aligned to the origin. So here they want you to look at the XY plane. Okay, it's a rectangle, and now we're going to right click the XY, and we're going to play with visibility. So now you can see it, and it looks kind of like what you normally start with. In fact, let me just do this on my own. If I make all these visible and I go to this, it's very similar to how it starts. I think you just need to show the axes. So now we can play around with these planes instead of worrying about having to draw an object that you can draw on. So we are going to start a sketch, and we are going to start it on the XZ plane. So now I don't even have to wait for things to move around. I'm starting a sketch on the XZ plane, and let's see. Now we're going to make a slot. So under the rectangle, well, in your sketch options in Create, instead of rectangle, you click and you're going to make a slot, and we're picking a center to center slot. So we're going to make a horizontal line, and we're going to define it later. Okay. Oh, beautiful. And now we're doing a center point circle, and Here we go. We want it to fall on the endpoint of the lines that we just drew. Okay. Now on your own, you're going to match the dimensions that I'm going to make appear. So one thing I want to point out is that as you're drawing this, you may need to reference origin, which is going to be the intersection of all three axes. So I had to do that to distance it away from it and also align it to the side. Okay. So now, for Pete's sake, we are going to be adjusting the dimensions. Love it. Be right back. So I've just updated it so it matches the new image. And now in the graphics window, we're going to click the right mouse button. So we can skip this because it tells you to use the parameters to just see the different dimensions that you've input. So let's go, let's see, finish sketch. We're going to extrude. Excuse me. Extrude our object, and we are going to extrude it. Okay, 0.5. That's an extruding instance. Upwards, great, and onwards we go. So we've made a base, and now you have a model tree. So you have the origin, which is going to be all the different planes that we had, and then you have the extrusion, so the base feature that we just created. So now we're going to create a second solid feature. We're going to start a 2D sketch. Okay, and now we are going to do it on the XY plane. So now I didn't even have to select anything on my base object. All I'm doing is selecting the XY plane to make my sketch. So you can change your view to wireframe. Let's see, visual style. We have wireframe, model edges, something that you can just do. I'm leaving it. Now we're going to make an arc. Okay, center point arc. So all right. So I'm going to pick center point. I'm looking for the green dot. There we go, for alignment. Okay. And now I'm going from doing an arbitrary size. So I'm going to pick, let's go here to here. And I just made sure that arc was above. Okay, we are going to adjust the radius of the arc. The radius should be 1.75. I was pretty close. And now I'm going to draw a line to close this arc off. So what I'm going to do with this line is just make sure that it's using the green dots to connect. I'm going to finish that sketch. And my guess is an extrude that's symmetrical. So we have one way, two ways, and we want to set the extrusion to 2.5. Great. Now we are going to sketch. Nope, not there. We're going to sketch on this surface. Okay, and we're going to make a box that's centered. Use a rectangle tool. Boom. And I want it to be 1 inch wide, 1 inch tall. And now I'm going to make another box that is 2 inches wide, 1 inch tall. Boom. Now I'm going to extrude that through and cut the thing out. Select both of them. Go that way. Beautiful. Okay. Now, we are going to turn off. You can turn off visibility of the different planes. I'm leaving it. So there's a tool, look at. Right here, you can look at this surface. Great. Same thing as orienting it. So now I'm going to sketch a circle at the bottom here. Pick that point. Hey, 0.25. Let's see. Did it do it? Nope. Wrong surface. Repeat. Start 2D sketch. No! I don't like these planes. I'll tell you what, they're plain annoying. Here we go. So I'm starting a sketch here. I'm going to pick that center point, and now I'm going to make my circle 0.25. I'm going to extrude it all the way through. There we go. Beautiful. Let me catch up on the book. Okay, so now our model tree should have 7 items, but I probably got a little click happy with my new sketches. So you have your origin, okay, and 4 solid features. Those are my extrusions, 4 solid features. Okay, all of the parent-child relationships were established implicitly as we create solid features. As more are created, it becomes more difficult to make a sketch showing all the parent-child relationships involved in the model. On the other hand, it's not really necessary to have a detailed picture showing all the relationships among the features. So consider the interactions that exist between them immediate features. So we created the center drill feature, which is that hole. So there are parent-child associated features with this. Let's get into brass tacks here. Okay, we are going to make changes. So to make these changes, our rectangular cut, we're going to edit that sketch. I guess, no, we'll do this correctly. It says show dimensions. So we can show our dimensions for the object that we're looking at through the model browser. And what we can do is just double click the height. We can change it to 0.75. Boom. Look at that. Beautiful. And I'll do this side too, because I did a little fancy. And so now it changes. So we can click update on the quick access toolbar, which is this. It's the little lightning rod thing. Click update. Boom. Beautiful. Put it back. They tell me put it back with a smile on my face. So now I will. Undo. But actually, to be correct. Let's go to our rectangle feature, show dimensions. We go in, 1. We change this to 1. And now we are going to update using that quick access toolbar feature. And we are done. We have our bracket all installed using the different work planes instead of surfaces. And that's going to be especially useful because if you were to try and draw a sketch on the top of this curved object, it's not happening. You cannot do a sketch on a curve. So what you can do is just start a sketch on a plane. You could even, just getting ahead of myself, you could pick a plane. Let's see. You can pick this plane, and you can actually click and drag to sketch kind of where you want to be. Anyway, finish this, submit your images, and have a great day.